Hey guys, it's Chris, and welcome to the Toned and Toneful video podcast, episode number 43, Success. Few do it alone. So in this week's episode, everybody, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the perception of what success is like as an artist working on our own, whether that's us doing all of our own social media, that's us doing all of our own advertising, or us writing our own songs. There's this very, very, very large perception that someone can do this all by themselves. And from the outside, it might seem so, that someone just wrote a song and then they just put it on the internet and they're suddenly famous. And all these moving parts that are coming together are part of just them releasing this one song or them doing stuff by themselves. And many times, I'm not saying it's never true, but many times that's a little bit further from the truth than you might want to think. And from the outside looking in, you're going to see the curated, social media posts. You're going to see the videos of the person with their, what they call the montages of them working alone and them showing them messing up on parts. And they're like, yeah, I did this on my own. And, I wrote this song and I played the guitar and I played the bass and I played the drums and I sang. And, it seems as though it's just that. But a lot of times we don't know, past the perception of what we see, actually how much work was built up in that with someone together. And I got my notes right here. And one of the things that I think that a lot of people think when they're looking at solo artists and when they're thinking about creating music that is somewhat different that they want to put out, they're always thinking from the mindset that I need to maintain my individualism. And in order to maintain my individualism, that means I can't work with other people. That means that I can't be the type of person who would want to be adept with teamwork. But let's take a deeper look. Because upon a harder glance, you're going to start realizing that few people are really successful alone. Again, I'm not saying there's never an artist who hasn't, done something all on their own to a very, very, very great way. I mean, we can take a look at the beginning of a band like Periphery, and we can see Misha putting in so much of the groundwork. But in order for projects to lift off, in order for real success to happen, we have to be building with, others. And we have to be having something that's called teamwork. And I know you guys have all heard of teamwork before. And the reality is that there's no way once you get past a certain point in your career or your success or kind of how busy you are that you can do more work without being aligned with others. So for example, say that, you're writing an album like me and I'm in my room and I'm playing guitar and I've got these riff ideas and I'm starting to work on, different time signatures, and I'm starting to work on things that I firmly believe would be the next level of what would make me a better musician, a better songwriter, and what I think will boost my career. Now, as I work on these things on my own, I'll come to a point where there's only so much I can handle. If you're writing the songs, you're recording them, and then you're doing a lot of the stuff, you might find that you need finally someone else to help master a song. You'll finally need someone else to listen to a song and give you an opinion. You'll need somebody to collaborate with you on a song. And once any of these outside factors start to happen, we are no longer just the solo artist, so to speak, anymore. We are the artist that is representing a team. So even if you do go on stage and you play by yourself, you might be still represented through a team. Like you yourself might be the face, but that doesn't mean there aren't people behind you doing marketing. There aren't people behind you trying to help you figure out how to do merchandise stuff. There are people behind you trying to help you manage your time, whether that's someone booking the shows for you, someone making sure that you have the capability to get to places and get things done so that way you're playing consistently, you're playing constantly. And if you take a look at this type of mindset, you'll start to realize really quickly that no artist is really a solo artist unless it's a very, very special circumstance, but everyone's got somebody in their corner. And so that is why I wanted to talk about teamwork so much in this particular episode, because you being able to build your team And being able to find the tribe of people who work together with you in music is incredibly important. The people that believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. The people who believe in you when you do believe in yourself. The people who are going to be there to still lift you up even when you're going through something tough, but they want to see you win. And these are all aspects of being a musician, even if you're performing as a solo artist. Say you walk out there with an acoustic and your guitar, or you take someone like John Mayer. Look at John Mayer. Look at his level of success. The kind of guy who can put out a video and in 2-3 days has 1 million views. And while you think of just John Mayer, but if you look on stage when he performs his songs live, he's got like 3 backup singers. He's got a drummer. He's got 2 guitar players on stage. One's playing acoustic, one's playing electric. He's got a bass player. He's got a keys player. And you start to realize, like, wait, John Mayer is an amalgamation of all these different other things going on. While he might be the spearhead and he might be the face of what you see, one of the big things, again, to still realize is there is so many people in the background making sure that all the little things that need to happen for John Mayer happen, so then that way he can go out there and perform. And it is really easy to be in your mind the kind of person who would set up a perception that, oh, well, if I'm working on this music and I'm working on this stuff, on my own, if I just put up posts and stuff, I can be my own manager. I can be my own this. I can be my own that. And a lot of times, sometimes it's not even possible. For a lot of times when you're trying to get gigs, you can't be the person trying to set it up. They want to speak to a manager or speak to someone on behalf of the artist. And once you start getting a little bit past your basic local scene, I think a lot of people realize that they need a manager. They need a person who can help run their Instagram a little bit. They need a person to help them come up with content and ideas, so then that way that everything isn't just from one point of view. And that is how we create real success, because success itself is about building. It's not about just keeping something really small. So I think that when people take a look at where they're going in their music and what they're looking and what they're aiming to do, I talk to a lot of friends who complain about maybe not having the success that they want, or they complain about, not so much friends, but people I know who are musicians, we'll just put it that way. They complain about success not working out as well for them, or they complain about not being able to mentally grow past where they are because they feel stuck. And I think the best way of becoming unstuck is building a team around you. Remember, as a guitar player, it's always a great idea to bounce an idea off another friend who might really be a great guitar player, or an associate who you consider a great songwriter and you want to bounce the idea off them. Remember that, like, when you write 10 songs in a row and you have a listener listen to it and they go, a lot of these songs sound exactly the same, or they have the same structure, or you're kind of using a lot of similar motifs to the point that it's this. If you take that suggestion, even the slightest bit, if you make some modulations to the music, you're now part of a team on a very small level. They've collaborated, whether that's even on them doing anything, but that sentence affected you so much that now you are in a collaboration. Or you're talking to someone who's a manager who's like, hey, like, and one thing is that if they're a good manager and they really know you and they know music and they know how to create success, they might be doing a little bit about what we talked about the last episode, about curating an image that actually is more cohesive. Like we were talking about how the guitar player plays the way they talk, or a singer writes sings the way that they kind of speak, or uses similar words, or has tonalities that are similar to who they are and what they feel. And a lot of times it can be easy to be caught up in the fact that, you're like, oh, I'm doing this all on my own, and this is how I do it. But it's like, you could be the kid at school, right, who's got a Power Ranger shirt, a Batman cape, Superman pants, and a Green Lantern backpack. And you could say, I'm doing my own thing. But is that own thing something that's going to work necessarily? Or is that own thing something that's going to push you more into being an outlier, something that's going to push you more into being just kind of the edge of, more on the brim of what's going on, rather than kind of coming more towards the middle and meeting up with the ideas of others so that things are built up? That doesn't mean to not be you, But what I'm talking about is when we have a strong enough perception of ourselves and what we're doing, we can also incorporate ourselves into teams. You see what I'm saying? So once we have a strong enough individual personality and we have a team, we can actually be in the team and not lose who we are. Whereas like some people, if they're not well adept in being who they are, once they join a team, they lose everything that they become. And I'm not saying that this doesn't happen to other artists too, who even achieve success. We can take a look at someone like, Britney Spears, who's been through a lot of tumultuous, things with her family, her relationships, her idea of who she is and her not being allowed to be who she is. That is someone who is procured past the point of who they are. They're procured too deeply. The development of the personality for the public was too developed in order for it to be something that fit her personality. But if you can remember who you are and how you can fit that into a team, you can be a very, very successful musician. I watch a lot of musicians who are able to collaborate with others, still be themselves. They're able to do things in their own way, and people want them to do things in their own way, but they just want them to incorporate that with a group project, or they want them to incorporate that into a bigger or different project. And so for you guys, one of the main things that I always want to take into account and always want to bring into mind is that self-reflection and the understanding of the self will always be the first thing. And as you develop that, you can jump into creating teams. Because when you know who you are, you know how to be part of a team, you know how to work with other people's opinions, you know how to say, hey, this is how I want this to be, this is how I don't want this to be. And it's all so important because teamwork is going to be one of the things that leads you to a bigger future, that leads you to a bigger thing. Higher level success isn't something that comes from people who just wake up in the morning and they go, oh, I'm going to play my guitar and put a post on Instagram. They might even get a lot of likes. They might even go viral on a video by themselves. But that in itself isn't success. Not higher level success. Higher level success is something that can be sustained. Higher level success is something that can be shown over a period of time. It's consistent. It's a person who puts out consistent quality for where they are. So when they put something out, you're like, dang. And then they put out the next thing, you're like, dang. And then they put out one, you're like, it's all right. And then they put out the next one, you're like, dang. Because that kind of consistency comes from somebody who has a team and has people working around them while they grow. Now, that's not to say that you can't grow more as you develop into your team. You're going to grow more. Actually, what your team's going to do, hopefully, is help you find the things in yourself that are strong and find the things in yourself that are a little bit weaker and work on both. I always see people say, hey, work on your strengths and, or work on your weaknesses. Work on both. There's no particular side we need to work on. If your strengths become stronger, and then your weaknesses become stronger, you're stronger. Like, let's just go with it. Let's just be stronger. Like, let's just be a stronger overall movement with our ideas. Let's be stronger with with the movement of our personality and the procurement of our notes, the harmonies and everything that we choose. Let's be stronger with our ability to reflect and look at ourselves and go, how can I get to the next level? Because really at the end of the day, just like we talked about in episode number 42, everything is about problem solving. Problem solving is the solution to problem solving. Obviously is a solution, but problem solving is what you need to be doing in order to line your life up in a way that you're not encountering the same problems all the time, that you're not encountering things that make you feel negative or things that make you feel that as though, hey, maybe this isn't what's for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you can problem solve, you can get past some of the biggest things. For example, we'll use me real quick just because I know my story 100% and I'm not speaking on behalf of somebody else where I don't know their whole story. So for me, I'm writing music and I'm doing a good job with that. I'm actually doing good with it. But the problem is I'm not the kind of person who can perform and do things alone all the time. I'm the kind of person who needs to be able to be intermixed with others so then that way I can have someone help me with marketing, because a lot of times my self-perception of myself, as I've been working on it, it's been getting better and better and better. But because for so long I had a very low perception of myself, it's very hard for me to market myself. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, I'll take a look at myself and go, and then now what happens? You have a good song and you don't market it? Bro, how are you expecting anything to happen? You can't get a higher level of success of just having a really cool song on your computer and you're doing nothing with it. Or for example, like, I have friends like Crisp who rhythmically are very, very aware of what's going on. And for him to even point something that's going on with what I'm doing or something like that might push me in a direction to understand more what I'm doing and try harder. Or I'll take someone like my friend Ben, who's really good on, guitar, like guitar itself, bass itself, and Ben just has the very well-rounded mind. Sometimes more so to the point where I'll have a drum beat and I'll be like, oh, this drum beat matches the guitar part. It's pretty cool. And then Ben's like, oh, wait, there's some of these parts, there's too many hits that are just two together. Like, we need some things that are just, this needs to be a more stabilized thing so that this part can stick out. He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. And that's where, the teamwork comes in, because when I release my music, it's going to have my name on it. You're going to see me playing the guitar solos when we go live. You're going to see me handling a lot of the stuff in all the videos. But what you won't see is Ben's conversation that him and I had, You won't see what Crisp said to me that affected me. My friend Sean Ash, another really good friend of mine, someone who I talk to, and him and I, like, no matter how things go, he's my brother in the sense that every conversation we have, we just kind of lock in. And I'm so thankful for him. And he brings up so many thoughts on a psychological level that bring me back to ease and that allow me to get back to work. And without these people, without my tribe, around me, my sister and my dad, and like, I'm lucky to have them in my tribe because my sister and my dad are really, really, really close with me. They're awesome people. And it's one of those things that as you keep working towards what you want, you realize, wow, that means me. I did a lot of work and I'm consistently working, but all these other people want to see me win. All these other people want to see the right thing happen for me. And if you can't see that, you'll realize that how can I actually get anywhere if I don't trust these people and can't believe in these people and work with others? I take a look at my job, and my job is a company of 40 people. And the company that we have, believe me, if we fired 10 people, we'd be working, and it would not be the same thing, because the cohesiveness of a team where the people are doing the right jobs for what they need to be doing with the right spearhead. Need we say more? Need we say more? So I always think of how success is something that belongs to the group. It's never something that typically belongs to an individual. And again, I'm not saying that there's not any there's no one who's, self-made. There are self-made people, but they're more far and few between than you really actually think. You hear the stories of Yngwie Malmsteen coming over here with just a guitar and his leather pants kind of vibe. And yeah, I get it. He came over here and he was on his own, but someone bought him a plane ticket. Someone hooked him up with, some gigs, and someone, and this person, whoever this background person is, that's the kind of person who got him started and got him in the right places so that he could get liftoff. It's kind of like when you're riding your bike for the first time and you have the training wheels and one of your parents is behind you and they're kind of holding your back and you're scared because you can feel the bike's kind of bouncing off the training wheels, but at the same time, that all you can think of is being like the kid who could ride without the training wheels. You just want to be that kid. You just want to be the kid who will get on a bike and then you start to ride and then you feel it balance out. And that is really where the mindset is when I say success is, few do it on their own. I'm not saying a kid never learned how to ride a bike on their own and they didn't break their elbow 3 times or they didn't fall and scrape themselves up so bad, but they got it. I get it. But the real truth of everything that's lying underneath the surface is, let's really take a moment to think about this. They have a team. They have a parent pushing them from behind. They have friends in the neighborhood who are like, oh, I can't wait to go bike riding with you. Everything's leveling up in this person's head. And as an artist, we're the same. Whether that's the person who helps you build your website, and then they're like, hey, like, what if we build it like this, and then we present your artwork like this, or what if we do this and we put the song link here, so then that way we can have this photo here. And all those things add up to making you the artist that you are, but it's built with other people. They're not all your ideas. And so it's so incredibly important that we use self-reflection as a way to find our tribe, as a way to find our voice and our storytelling. And when we combine these together, we have a team who wants to be behind our storytelling. We have a team that supports us through our, oh man, like, I don't know if I'm playing this guitar part right. Yeah, man, you had a little bit of a rough night, but tomorrow you're going to play better. And luckily, like, we have this whole tour to play really great shows. So let's just try again tomorrow. That's the really important thing. That's the really important thing, is having the capability to see where you are in a moment, see where you are with your team, and develop that at all levels so that we can have the higher level of success that we want. And success isn't about fame, and success isn't about just money and just fame. Success is about the idea that you could take what's in you and manifest it. Did you say that you wanted to build a house and you built a house? Then you're successful. I bet someone went to the store with you, though, help you get some of that stuff. I bet someone helped hold up a 2x4 while you worked on something. I bet somebody did this or did that to help make sure that, hey, can you turn the light on in the room? Oh, cool, the electricity is working. Awesome. So you have to realize that through all of these different discussions and through all of these different things, you are in a place where the team is the most important thing. So please never let that escape you. Never let that escape your mind, and never let that escape who you are, is that you're involved as like a puzzle piece in this world. And if you develop your edges better, you develop your borders better, you'll fit in even crisper. And that's one of the things that I always love to see people do, is fit into where they want to be in the most clean and respective way possible. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing episode 43 with me. Success, if you do it alone. And I really hope you guys take time to think about how your career is looking and how your success is looking in life. And not because all that matters is money or all that matters is this, but because if you can find out where you need help and you can find out where you need to do things, you can prioritize, you can build that tribe, you can build your voice because you know how and where to use it. So I wanted to say thank you to you guys. Please enjoy your week. And remember, above all else, stay toned and toneful.